Okay, I hope my screen is visible, everyone.
Oh, yes.
Okay, till time it's loading. So let me. So agenda is today's basically we will discuss about this Jira workflow, how we create the Jira ticket and what things we need to take care in that Jira, what how we can comment and how we progress the ticket, like and the in between Jira workflow we will discuss about that. Then how we communicate between different teams, call clients and like that. So the person who already working on the real time, so that's very good. The person who doesn't know about this, how to communicate and how which tools they are using right now, so that's new for them. How in daily sync up what we will discuss. Okay, what is the sprint planning, client demo, RCA report. You might aware about this RCA, SLO, SLS, and general things like how to handle deadline, production release, client coordinations. Other tools like password manager, which we mostly use company one password or LastPass. There are a number of tools, but these are the major one. Then in the documentation run books, we need to maintain the run books. So whatever the things we are doing in the project, let's say you are doing some troubleshootings or any process we need to follow, that should maintain on the Confluence instead of having the Google Docs or something. Okay, so that's the reason we use Atlassian product here. So majorly global wide people use or organization use their tools, Atlassian, Jira, and Confluence. They have a multiple other product as well, but these are the major one. So let me check the status if it's up or not. Okay, it might be take few more minutes. Okay. So in short, basically when we work with the real-time project, so we cannot go directly over the mail communication or mail communication or verbal communication directly. If someone giving you the task, let's say you are a business analyst, BA team. Let me draw here. So when we discuss about the project, so again, I'm just giving the clarification. I'm just explaining based on my experience. Okay. So you could have you might have any different experience in your project or different structure you follow. Okay. So I'm just explaining my experience basically. So how we are managing the projects. So let's say this is your complete team. On the top of that, we can consider as your engineering manager. Okay. Then your manager. So there are different role in the organization. Anyone join? Okay. Then on the top of that, it might be a BA, business analyst, who will perform similar task to project manager, like gathering the information from the client, collecting the requirements, discussing on the behalf of our team. So he will take care everything similar to manager job kind of job. Then on the same role like your team lead TL. Okay. Then from after discussion with the BA team or your TL basically. So they will give us the task there. Okay. So whatever the task, based on the task, we need to create the Jira ticket there. So verbally we can't work or we should not work actually. If something giving you task like just create the EC2 instance EKS cluster or something or IAM roles policy. So don't go verbally and just create the infrastructure. Okay. So always make sure you should follow the proper structure there, the process. You should create the Jira ticket first. Okay. So in that Jira ticket, how you can manage that I want to show you, but it's taking some time here. Anyways, I think it's going to. Then based on the Jira ticket, once we should add all the details here, like description in the Jira ticket, description, your outcomes and what action, if any blockers, you can add that. And if any, let's say you are performing any POCs, when we perform the POC, can anyone explain me, please? Sometimes we need to perform the POC in the project. So what is the POC and when we do this? Anyone has experience similar to this? Yeah, that's fine. But why we need to perform sometime POC, not the actual work? Okay. The POC we perform when, let's say, something comes news to in the pipeline or a project, when we are not sure like how it will works and what kind of blockers we will get to actual implementation in the project. Because if it start actual implementation and it will take longer period of the time to test all the features and whatever the changes we required or client expectation. So that's first we need to do the POC on the dev environment before doing actual implementation and the other teams involved in that. So that's we will see what blockers we will face and other issues like that, and then we will do some small testing there, like how it works. So based on that, then we can calculate the next strategy. Like yeah, this will take 2 weeks, 3 weeks, something like that, and that these are the requirements we need to uh, we need required to achieve this task or any features, new features in the project. So before that, we need to perform that POC, proof of concept. So in the Jira, we have, let's say when you create any Jira ticket, so by default status would be to do task, to do status. Then from the to do, you will move it to in progress. Once you started working on the that Jira ticket, you need to change the Jira ticket status. Okay, you can move it to in progress, and whatever the task or POC you have performed, so you need to add everything in the comment box. Okay, don't just do like just moving the ticket in the in progress and you have done all the steps and finally you made it done. Okay, so whatever the things you have read some documentation or some you have performed something deployments in that between, and whatever you have done, so you need to mention all the details in the Jira ticket in the comments. Okay, because if let's say if someone want to review your task in the quarterly or somewhere before doing any appraisal period or something, let's say let's say someone really want to check your task, or someone ask you like what you have done in this quarter. So if you do any verbal communication and do the task, so then how you can prove yourself that like you are working on this multiple task. So that is the reason you should create Jira ticket for each task, whatever the task you are getting, either small or big, whatever. Okay, so based on the, at least you should have a you will have one end of the day group, like in the quarter, this quarter I have collect work on these tickets. Okay, so that is the reason you should have always Jira ticket for every task, even it's a small settings changes or something, whatever the things. Okay, and also in the crucial case, let's say you have done something wrong, or your intention is not wrong, but by mistakenly or any human mistake, someone asks you like, can you do these changes in the production environment? And without following the standard procedures, okay, you just directly create the gate branches there. You do the deployment and you directly do the testing and production release. So if something goes wrong on the production environment, so that escalation will come to you. So who will tell you and how, which process you follow? If you don't follow the process, like you don't create any Jira ticket, you don't follow the production release strategy, then there will be issue, right? You will face the major issue there, escalation. If there is a massive issue, business loss because of that, if you are working on the crucial project. So you should follow the proper strategy there. Even if this is a very priority task or any urgent task, still you have to create the Jira ticket. So whatever the things are there. If someone asks like, if manager told you or TL told you, "अरे मैं देख लूंगा," you can just go ahead. So don't blindly trust on that. You should always create a Jira ticket and mention all the communication there. Like based on this communication with this person, okay, I am just creating this Jira ticket. I am working on this to implement these changes. What changes you are implementing, that also you should mention there. Okay. On what basis who communicate to you to do these changes, that person name you can also tag in that Jira ticket. So everything should be written. And while you creating the Jira ticket or communicating with any person, so don't use any wrong word there like वो हम बोलते हैं ना कि पर्सनल खुन्नस वगैरह भी टीएल अगर if TL is good then fine, but sometimes we might have a conflict with the team lead or any manager or something like that. So in the written communication don't use any bad words. Doesn't matter what will be the crucial part, like any very major conflict between the manager and the team. So written communication should not be like that, like bad words or something. So that's a very major case. Okay, so you should always go with this proper polite word or the professional word there. So yeah, it's up now. So I just installed the trial version here, so no issues. So this is the, you can look like this. In the organization period, you will see lots of options, but this is a trial version. So I have not created any major dashboards here. If you want to create the dashboards, you can simply create from here. Let me give the name blank dashboard group. Okay, I will not go in the detail now. Let me quickly open this. And forget about the installation part because in the real-time project, we will not get opportunity to install this ticketing system. It will already created there. So this is the one issue I was created last night while setting this. I will show you that how you can create the new issues. Okay. This is the first one I created. But when you want to create new task, let's say you got one requirement like create the EKS cluster or Jira some S3 bucket. So what you can do is you will get the access, okay, of the Jira. Then simply you can just go ahead and create the issue. You will see like the project name, okay, task. In description you can mention like what we follow basically, project name or your module name. Let's say your DevOps infra, for example. Then create a chaos cluster with WordPress pod deployment, for example. Then a reporter will be like you are creating tickets, so you will be by default reporter. In the description, you need to mention all the details. Description, create a case cluster with version, let's say 1.30 in Mumbai region. Okay, with node 2, right? To node group. Deploy WordPress pod with replica set, for example. Then make sure pod will sorry, should be publicly accessible. For example, okay. If you have any reference documentation, you can just add here link. Okay. And assignee, if you want to work on this ticket, you can just click on this assign to me. If you don't want to sorry, if you don't want to work or someone's like your junior team member or any other team member want to work on this, or you are assigning to ticket this, so you can just from here list, you can assign, you can just type their name, whatever the name, okay, and it will pop up here because now it's a trial version. But in your organization cases, you will pop up the name, like if you type something here, it will automatically pop up the name. Okay, so then you can just give assign that task to that particular user, that your team member. Then priority you can define. Priority you can see lowest, low, high, highest. Okay. So if you have a urgent task, this need to be completed. So you can just select the priority high or highest. It's a depend on the criticality. If it's normal, so you can use low, or one more option is here medium, but I think I have not added here. But you will see like medium. It's not neither lower, or neither either or highest one. So medium also there. If you don't have any priority, so you can just make it as a low. Okay, and just create it. Okay, that user is getting okay, no issues. So you will get automatically a ticket number here. See like this, and this is the comment box, and whatever the changes you will do by this ticket, that activity will be tracked here. Okay. So let's say you have created the, now you have already you get the task and you want to work on this. So what you can do is you can just change the status to in progress. Okay. These are the Jira workflow. I just added sample one, but you might see in the other any options as well here. I just added the to do, in progress, cancelled, hold, testing. Where is it done? I think I miss it. Let me change it.
Sir, in this case, who decide the priority of the task that is being assigned? Like you were showing high.
You can discuss. I will come to that, but you can discuss with your either BA or team lead. So what should be the priority? It's a high priority task, or it's a lower one or medium one. So based on that, you can just decide. Normally, if you have a team member like BA, business analyst, he will based on the requirement with the clients, he will assign those ticket.
Okay.
But someone might in project, there might not be a BA or a TL. So we know that someone, we need to handle everything. So in that case, we need to decide based on the discussion. So this should be
Mm-hmm.
a normal case or higher one.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So done is there, but somewhere is missing. Just 1 minute. And just forget about the, don't worry about this task. Okay, this will be taken care by the manager. Okay, but I want to show you this, so I just try to set up this. This is completely responsibility of the your project manager or the client side team who are handling the project, the PM, or mostly project manager or product owner, you can say. We don't need to worry about that workflow. Testing, why not coming here? It's showing here, but not coming onto that. Let me check one more time. Okay. Okay, now it's coming. Okay, once we move the changes from to do to in progress, then you can start adding here the details, whatever the task you have performed that day. Okay, so no one can tell you तूने आज क्या किया, right? So that's you have to mention all the details like created feature branch, for example, feature branch and feature branch. You can mention the branch name, feature branch name, feature slash your project and your ticket number. Okay, this format. Then some project might follow the different project strategy, but I'm just giving the generic way. And then you can add it like added changes related to, let's say, Terraform code for EKS cluster. Okay, and you have just add it. Then whatever the task you perform more like, then next day or maybe some other things, you can add more comments here like deployed changes, deployed AKS Terraform code by using pipeline on dev environment, right? Verified deployed changes and it's working fine as expected. So based on your own language, you can think like that and you can add the whatever the status. Okay. And then let's say up now whatever the changes you have done, but now you and you have deployed the applications, right? So now what will happen? So QA team will need to test your changes. So we can move it to testing. And you can ask here like whatever the QA team member is there, you can just tag like this QA team, that team name or member maybe, or you can just simply ask QA team to perform feature changes. Okay, you can just add this comment and you can assign this task to that QA team. Okay, then they will whatever the changes you have made, they will perform the testing and they will assign back to you and they will mention the comment like we have verified the changes and everything is working fine from the QA side. Okay, so then we can move ahead. Once that is done, then you can once everything is working fine with this environment and whatever the Jira ticket you have created the merge request like raised merge request MR request. Okay, and verified by reviewer. What happened? Verified by reviewer. Everything is good. So closing this task, right? And you can just add the comment and then mark it ticket as a done. Okay, these are the workflow of the Jira ticket, but each workflow you should mention the proper comment here. Okay, this will help you in the longer run as well. Let's say you have done some changes on the infrastructure and you have added the proper comments and whatever the reference code there, you can just add here in the comment as well. Okay, don't add any sensitive information like PII data or any passwords like that. Okay, only the general information you can add. Okay, also while sharing the password to anyone, just plain text format, don't share with anyone. No, so that will be a compliance issue. So always use that password manager tools which we will discuss going forward. So you can do this like this and you can mark the ticket as a done here. So whatever the activity you will see, you can see here work log or all activity here like this. Sometimes some project might follow the time tracking strategy. I have not added that feature, but you need to add the timing as well. So how much task, this task, how much take the times like that if you are following in your cases. You can change the priority. So let's say you have created this task with the low priority, but somehow it's a client asking you like, can you do this on the higher priority? So in that case, you can change this priority from here, highest or whatever. And if you want to check the reports, you can see the reports. You might not see the full feature as of now, but in real time, you will get more features and other details there. But these are the things like we normally follow. And you can pull the report as well. If someone asks, like your manager told you, like, can you give me your quarterly report? How many tasks we have worked on that? So in quarterly, so you can just fetch the report from here. We just created two tickets, so it's showing only two ticket here. But you can see the reports, the detailed report. You will see backlog also here, okay, to refine the tickets. But I think I have not added that feature. But in backlog, what is the backlog? So let's say we have a sprint planning strategy. If you little bit aware about the Scrum methodology or waterfall models, so there is a different task, but that will taken care by the project PM, basically project manager and other stuffs. But at least we should have a little bit on that. So we normally work on the sprint planning, which is the 2 week sprint planning. Waterfall model also there, but this will be work very better way. Like sprint planning means your 2 weeks planning, 2 weeks. So whatever the things you want to work in this two sprint planning to work 2 weeks, so that Jira ticket you need to create. Whatever the task, let's say creating the S3 bucket, creating the pipeline, CI/CD pipeline, creating the IMA users with the roles for whatever the EKS cluster, monitoring jobs. Okay, Jira ticket. And don't try to change the status in progress for all this, okay, because it will tag your activity. So, let's say sprint planning will start from this Monday, for example. Then whatever the task you can take on the priority, let's say S3 CI/CD, not CI/CD. Let's say you are creating first S3 bucket, so that Jira ticket only you can move to in progress. Okay, once you're done with that Jira ticket, you can mark it as a close, as we discussed now. Okay, then you can take next priority task from the backlog. Let's say you want to create IMA user, then EKS and monitoring, and finally you want to create the CI/CD pipeline. So in that case, you will get take those particular ticket in progress, and you can work accordingly. Okay. So any tickets, let's say any blockers you face or any major issues, sometimes we might experience that issues, like you are not able to achieve any particular task in the sprint, one sprint, I mean 2 weeks. So in that case, you can carry forward those ticket, that ticket to next sprint. Okay. Any team dependency issues, or any someone went on the holiday or something like that, or because of any technical issues. So in that case, you can carry forward that ticket to next sprint. Anyone any doubts in the Jira workflow? No.
No.
Okay. So Confluence, as I said, I'm not able to install because that system got hang. So I can simply show you this one sample image. It's as simple as it's a documentation basically. So whatever the action item, let's say you can say what technical professional word is there, KP or something, process documentation basically. So let's say you want to deploy something, so you need to follow the certain process. So for that you will get one run book in the Confluence page. So you can just simply follow that. And also you are repeatedly following some process on the infrastructure deployment or any standard procedure you need to follow. So you need to prepare the documentation well manner in that particular space. Okay, we need to create the space for the project wise. So in that we can create the documentation, and you can see just a little bit format about this. So people can follow the different formats, so no issues. But you can see like this the format. You can add the links there, hyperlink. Any you want to you tag particular user, you can tag. If you want to add a comment for particular line, so you can just highlight and just add the comments like this. So basically, let's say this will helpful during the, let's say you are releasing the project, or you want to hand over someone, or you want to take handover from the client. So in that case, documentation is very important. And you can also observe in the big organization that they focus on process basically, process documentation, all the stuffs. In startup or middle scale organization, there might be they might not follow the procedure to maintain the documents. Okay, sometimes we struggle to find the documents and which process we need to follow, right? If someone asks you like, can you do this deployment? If you don't have any documentation in project, so you might get more struggle there. But if you get the proper documentation, someone created properly, so in that case you can follow as it is or whatever that they have mentioned there. So that will help in the long run to replace someone or something. Okay. So that is the reason company focus on the documentation part, and we also managing from the Confluence. So whatever the documentation are there. In the daily sync up, you might also attending the daily sync up. So daily sync up is basically just to take the updates and give the updates. Let's say you are working on something like any infrastructure or pipeline setup. So whatever the task we have done today, let's say yesterday. So today's daily stand up call, you need to update that. Like I am working on this Jira ticket. I have done this exploration. I read this documentation. I try to set up the writing the Terraform code. I'm trying to debug some minor issues, and I'm trying to deploy that changes by using pipeline. So whatever the updates are there, you need to give that updates in that daily sync up call. So in daily sync up call, your team member will be there, your manager, your BA or your TL, whatever that you have team there basically in your project. So you should give the update, and what others people are also doing. So you will also get that update there. If any need to collaboration between any third party team or something, if your project integrated any third party like API payment gateway or something, so if there are any issues with the payment gateway, so you can discuss internally first, and then you can just chase that person, support person from the payment gateway. Sprint planning, as we discussed, so what we need to work in next 2 weeks. I mean every one sprint is equal to 2 weeks, you can consider as a. So for that planning, you need to define like which task you need to work for next sprint. sprint. Okay, that we can discuss in this sprint planning call. Client demo. Let's say you are working on this some feature. Okay, and some part of the feature you have completed. Then if client asks you like, can you give the demo for this changes you have done? Okay, changes means what? Not related to infrastructure. It should be related to high level. When we talk about the high level design and low level design, high level design is basically your business requirement. What is the business requirement? Like what you think, what option you need to require in the logic, or let's say you have any ticketing system or flight booking system or any product base. So what features you want to add, any like service level agreements or any terms and condition legal changes you want to made, or any other stuff. So that changes required UI changes, right? UI in the backend system as well in the database something. So that infrastructure during the client demo you can define this business high level demo basically. what changes you have done from the backend side. Now how you can show that in the UI. So that demo you need to give in that client demo for the changes. Coming to this RCA report, RCA report is basically, let's say you have face any major issues on the production system. So in that case, client might ask you, can you provide the RCA report, root cause analysis? Okay. So in that RCA report, you need to define the source of the issue, why it happens and what time it happens, how much time it takes to resolve that, and what resolution you have provided. I mean, how you fix it, and what is the business impact on that. So all these details you need to mention in that RCA report. So there is no such a specific format for this, but ideally you should add this kind of strategy in that, the root cause of the issue, how we fix it, how much time it take, and what is the business impact. At least these are the major one you need to add there. SLA is basically for the agreement and your uptime. Let's say if something goes wrong with any system, we normally talk about the uptime, right? Let's say AWS provide the uptimes SLA like 99.999 something agreement, right? So that means your service will be maximum up and running. So that's come into this. Okay. Then how to handle the project's deadline. Let's say client explain like in the during the discussion, we need to achieve this feature changes or project by Q1, Q2, Q3, whatever, no, quarterly. So that you can discuss on that. And if the deadline is very tight, so you based on that you can plan internally with your team members or something. So when you're planning something for the deadline, so you also need to consider the if there are any team members leave plan or something. Okay. So based on that you can also plan for the deadline. And if it's not possible because of the any resources, low skill set or any other issues, you can also discuss those blockers also with the client. Okay. Client coordination we normally will happen like daily sync up call or weekly call or something. Okay. And whenever they required, if you want to discuss something, then you can just definitely we will have a different communication channel there. Some might use Skype for business, some might use Slack, Microsoft Teams or other tools. Okay. That it's a depend on the project to project or company to company which they follow. But Slack and Skype, Microsoft Teams, these are the major one that company use. For the password sharing, we can use one password or LastPass, okay, where you can share the password with the secure manner. Don't share the passwords on the chat or somewhere, okay? That will be a compliance issue. And documentation, as we discussed on the run books, we need to mention all the run books on the all the process in the Confluence documentation. That's all from the my side for today. Anyone has any other concern or any issues, doubts?
सर नेक्स्ट वीक कौन से प्रोजेक्ट करने वाले हैं? अगर थोड़ा आइडिया मिल जाता तो पढ़ के रख रख देते.
Yes, yes, definitely. Let me